Hello all, and welcome to the SaaS Management Platform Vision series. This is our third entry, and my name is Jim Hussey. I'm a publisher of the book, The Survival Guide to SaaS Optimization. And I am joined today by Edouard Dossot, COO and co-founder of Beamy, a SaaS management platform provider based out of Paris. And really look forward today, Edward, to having this conversation. And many of our conversations tend to be very US centric. So hopefully we can get a little bit more insight from all of the work that you're doing across Europe and the rest of the globe. So Edward, if you could take a moment, introduce yourself, and I'd really like to know what was the moment that you chose to get into the world of SaaS. And are you happy you made that decision?
Yeah, sure. Thanks a lot, Jim. Very happy to be here, and thanks to give us a stage to introduce what we're doing here in Europe. So indeed, we launched Beamy 4 years ago with my co-founder, and actually it will sound a bit basic, but we found out that large organizations were using actually lots of solutions that were decentralized, that were implemented by the business team directly, and that the central IT teams, in a way, was losing a bit the control out of it. Yeah, this is why we actually started. We were starting to work with big retailers. So our first clients were actually major retailers here in France. And they were using tons of solutions to digitalize the point of sale, digitalize e-commerce, digitalize all their activities, and they were not able to have a full patchwork, full panorama of all their applications. And that's actually when we started to get inside it and to help them to analyze the coherence between solutions, analyze how each of those little bricks of technologies could work together. And yeah, that was 4 years ago, actually.
Well, great. So you didn't answer if you're excited and happy to be in this space.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we are really excited. I would admit that at the beginning we're a bit lonely here in Europe because there were not a lot of companies looking after SaaS management. But since I will say 2 years, the market is booming. We have a lot of clients requiring the service, a lot of new companies entry in the market. So it's very exciting moment right now to be in SaaS management, I would say, because it's moving very fast. We are, of course, we're watching what the US guys are doing, and they are doing very well. So it's, bringing the market up. So.
Yeah, it's a market that's dynamic, moving fast, lots of investment coming in. So it's certainly over the next couple of years going to be a tremendous level of change. But question for you. So one of the items that I liked about Euro, and I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it right because I'm a New Yorker and I mispronounce everything. So is it Beamy or Beamy? How is it properly pronounced?
Yeah, Beamy.
Okay. But one of the things that I've noticed as I read your materials and I talk with individuals in the market is from the beginning you started or your platform talked about control, where many of the organizations that are doing great work in the area of SaaS management, their first focus is optimize. You speak about control. I come from a financial industry background. In my former corporate life, I was involved with third-party risk, heavily influenced by my friends in InfoSec. So the control really jumps out at me. So can you talk a little bit about why that is such a core part of your vision and how you're going to build on that over the coming year or so?
Yeah. So our vision is actually to help a large organization to build a governance around SaaS today. So not only to build management, but to build the governance. And why we said governance, it means what we discovered for many large organizations is there are many different stakeholders acting around the SaaS, around technology. And what happened today is large corporations are spending a lot of their new investment in the SaaS market, and even though the crisis, actually the COVID crisis that we're actually living in right now, has accelerated the digital transformation. Actually, this digital transformation is not led anymore by the IT team. It's not the CIO who is leading it, who is impulsing everything. Most of the innovation, most of the digitalization is actually led right now by the business teams. So it's marketing, HR teams, communication teams that are actually leading the marketing, leading the digital transformation themselves. And the problem right now for a client is the CIO is becoming blind about all of that solution. So the first problem we tackle is to help them to tackle shadow IT, to tackle this issue of not having a complete vision of their stack. And that's why we talk about controlling, because we believe that without having a clear visibility, a clear control of your stack, you will not be able to make the right decision when it comes to optimization, when it comes to risk, when it comes to governance. So that's really the first thing that we tackle here.
Great, and you know, as you were talking, the interesting thing for me is that in many ways, I don't work with very many CIOs when I'm talking about the subject. Here in the US, I'm talking to IT finance, compliance, third-party risk, sourcing, vendor management, and IT is almost, you know, when they talk cloud, they're off talking about, you know, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. So when it comes to SaaS, other than what I call enterprise SaaS, right, where you got, you know, Office 365, Salesforce, ServiceNow, you have that segment, let's say. They're heavily involved there, but it's this long tail that perhaps they're not paying attention to, CIOs that is. But I do know here in the US, compliance and third-party risk are looking very, very closely at that discovery capability, but then also the ability to monitor and mitigate, take proactive measures in the event things don't, let's say, work out for that particular SaaS provider, or they have a breach that causes a lot of challenges. So are you seeing that in Europe as well? You know, the evolution, let's say, of a team of individuals involved with discussions around SaaS management?
Yes, we are seeing that as well. I think it's our difference and our focus at Beamy is to help large organizations. We don't focus so much on working with startups or scale-ups. Our key focus here is large enterprise. So working with major banks, major retailers, that I'm not sure I will tell them, because you may don't know them, but they are large organizations with traditional IT. So obviously those organizations with traditional IT, the process before SaaS was, I am a business guy, I need a solution, I talk to my IT guy, he provides me the solutions. And this is changing. Now I want a solution, I go online, I find a SaaS, I buy it myself and I use it. But the CIO and the IT team is not aware of that. Yet they have to control it, because they are the one in charge of risks. They are the one in charge of GDPR compliance. If there is a cyber attack because of a SaaS solution with a threat or with a leakage of data, they will be the one in charge at the end of the day. And when we talk about optimization for our clients, what we help them to do is to look at synergies. Look at, for example, we work with a big, a major automotive company here. They have a subsidiary everywhere in the world. And they know that the subsidiary in the US and the subsidiary in France, they won't use the same SaaS. They use different provider. And what they want to do is to synergize, is to cut the cost, to rationalize, to have only one provider for everyone. And if you don't have a central team to be in charge of that, you will never be able to do that at the end. So that's why at Beamy, we talk much more with IT team. Of course, we talk with procurement, with finance team, but the CIO is our guy. He's a guy who actually we help him to take control, to take back power in the organization, and to bring this topic to his direction committee, to his steering committee, because at the end of the day, SaaS management is not a matter of only of financial optimization or risk. It's a matter of how the company will digitalize and how they will organize this process within hundreds of stakeholders.
So Edward, thank you for that. And yeah, in my world, I deal primarily with mid to large enterprises. So I'm very much in line with what you're sharing. So the question is, when organizations are purchasing or evaluating a SaaS management platform, are they bringing the tool in and assigning the requirements or activity to harvest the output from the tool to existing staff? Are they hiring dedicated SaaS governance and optimization? How do you see the people side of the solution that would wrap around or really leverage the Beamy capability? How do you see that coming together today?
Yeah, but that's a bit linked to my first answer. That's why we call ourselves a governance platform and not an optimization platform or not a management platform. Actually, what we propose our client is that actually the business users are using our tool to have a look at the full catalog of solutions, and they can dig dive the catalog, and they can compare solutions. They can request solution directly to the IT, and they can make this request, and this request will go through a kind of governance process, a governance validation process, through the GDPR team, through the procurement team, through the IT team. Everyone will have a word to say yes or no, if they agree to launch this solution. So we are not only a tool to detect and optimize, we really see this governance process and to help our client to pilot the new SaaS. And why we do that is because for a client, the net growth in terms of number of SaaS publisher per year is 25%. So every year there is 25% more new publishers implement by the business team. So if we don't tackle this governance and this request issue, we always come late. We discover shadow IT and then we want to rationalize. What we want to do is to really eradicate shadow IT from the start, thanks to the collaboration, the strong collaboration with the business team.
Eradicate's a strong word. I think I've heard eradicate shadow IT for the last 25, 30 years, but thank you. So, hey, one last question, and Edward, this has been fantastic. I love the governance message. Obviously, if you do have the opportunity to look at my book, I talk that you cannot optimize what is not governed. And so drawing from my vendor management background, third-party risk, I've crafted a framework to really help organizations, at least give them some Excel documents, templates to kind of help shape that. But as you look forward, and you were talking to individual CIOs, or in some case, a individual who's now the leader of a SaaS optimization office, what do you say you will see over the next year or two that's really going to determine success for these individuals? Is that a fair question?
Yeah, I mean, can you re-explain a bit the question?
I'm sitting here. I just purchased your tool, yep, and I'm happy. I've deployed it, and I asked you. I said, Edward, what do I need to anticipate in the next year? How do you see this market unfolding so I can take proactive measures?
Okay. Yeah, I think the trends that I described will not stop. And today we are talking about hundreds of publishers per organization. Tomorrow we'll talk about thousands. And the technology is going to be micro-specified. And even though there is a massive acquisition in the software industry, there is still much more new software companies that are creating every day. So at the end of the day, you need to be prepared to manage thousands of contracts, because this is going to happen. So if you still continue to manage it manually like today, obviously it will be hard. I think we have to think about how you can automatize, how you can industrialize, how you can make all those stakeholders collaborate, how can you make all your team working together managing those contracts, and those contracts are quite small. So the amount per contract is reducing. So you don't have the budget to put a procurement guy in front of each contract. So you need to automatize the analysis of contract, automatize the alerts, and make all those thousands of people work together. So that's a big challenge, I will say.
All right. Well, Edouard, thank you so much. I love the vision. I love the emphasis on control, on governance. I think it's very balanced, and it's that balance that is going to, bring success to your organization as you move forward. So thank you very much for your time. I know it's later in the evening for you during this conversation. So please, again, thank you for taking the time and joining us, and look forward to the continued success for your organization.
Thanks a lot, Jim. Bye-bye.